My name is Jürgen Onutzer. I chair the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences here at UW. And I want to welcome you to this beautiful graduation celebration. And I want to start with a big welcome to and a huge round of applause for our graduates. And for your friends and families. And to Athena and our wonderful staff for making this great event possible. And to our great faculty. All right, hey, you gotta clap more for them. All right. And I guess if you don't do this in person for 2 years, you get a really nice day as a really beautiful day in return. So it's great to see you all. I'm going to just say a few things to get us started. So we are coming together to celebrate our graduates, to welcome you all as new colleagues in mental health care. We're going to celebrate your accomplishments. We're going to hear about amazing things you've done here, and we're going to wish you all the best for your next steps. And if I look at this group of new mental health professionals, I think our future is in pretty good hands. You've come to us from all over the world with different stories, different life experiences. And the crazy thing is, for some of you, this is the first time you're actually meeting each other. And we still have masks on, so, but we can play this game where we can figure out, who everybody was on Zoom for the last year. But anyway, if you're one of our psychiatrists, you are graduating from what is now the largest psychiatry residency program in the United States. That's pretty cool. If you're one of our psychology graduates, you're graduating from an amazing, top-notch residency program that has produced for more than a half a century some of the best clinician scientists I've ever met. So congratulations to all of you. Some of you are going to stay with us here as fellows, as postdocs, as new faculty members, and those of you who are not, I'm going to come back to this at the end of my comments. You can go away, but you can also come back. We're going to have so much growth and expansion in this program over the next couple of years. We could use all of your help. So I'm going to say a few words about the unique time in which you've all done your training here. And there's a lot that's already been said about this lousy pandemic. And if I had to sum it up in a short way, I would say pretty much sucks. But that's not sort of the official comment that I'm making. Sorry. So what I would say is a year ago, we thought, okay, this is a huge disruption in our lives, in the way we're teaching, in the way we're learning. And now we're sort of slowly coming to accept and embrace that this is maybe a new reality. And in some ways, maybe you all may be the most prepared of all of us to succeed in this new reality, because you did it for 2 years, right? Maybe, I think, you have learned a lot about being flexible, about being resilient, and I think it'll probably serve you well. So maybe there's, some silver lining in all this madness that we've been through. I think there is another silver lining, and that is, I think if people hadn't figured this out before, the entire world has now figured out, that mental health is a really important part of all health. And that may be another one of the silver linings. Those of you who know me, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy. I can find something good in almost anything. And I think that is actually one of the silver linings. People are much more comfortable than they were, certainly than they were 30 years ago when I graduated from residency, about talking about stress, talking about burnout, talking about mental health. This is a real thing. And it takes real people who have real skills like you all to actually do something about that. So I think that's really great. And we are graduating a great group of mental health professionals today, and so you are up to this challenge. I also want to say a few words about our faculty and staff. I think we are really blessed here in our department to have an amazing faculty. We have about 300 full-time faculty. We have over 400 courtesy clinical faculty and a great staff. And if I do the calculations, our faculty spend about 25,000 hours teaching you every year. So if you've been with us for the last 4 years, That's 100,000 hours of faculty teaching time. Think about that. 100,000 hours. So let's give another huge thanks to our faculty and our staff for all of their work. And then I'll say a few things about our family. So if you're a family member, for the families of our graduates, I have really good news. This might just be the last time you're going to one of your kids' graduations. Right? You've been to a kindergarten graduation and grade school and middle school and high school and college and graduate school and medical school and maybe some other schools. Some of us like to go to school forever and ever. And this could just be the last one. Think about that. How cool is that, right? And think about it from the perspective of our graduates. If you haven't done it recently, find your parents and give them a huge hug, because that's a lot of effort, a lot of graduations, a lot of worrying about, are you going to turn into real human beings? Are you going to get a real job someday? And along the way, as a parent, you have to keep lowering the bar, and eventually it works. No, I'm just kidding. Eventually it works out. No. Nobody had to lower the bar for this group. This is an amazing group. Sorry. Okay, let me finish with a couple comments to look ahead. So 2 weeks ago, I attended a really cool event a couple miles away from here. We did something called the Topping Out Celebration. We're building a brand new 6-story, 150-bed behavioral health teaching facility at the UW Medicine Northwest campus, a couple miles from here. It'll be a brand new building that's going to give us amazing new space to provide state-of-the-art clinical care. We'll have a great big neuromodulation program, stuff that we're not offering yet today, but I think that's really state-of-the-art. We're going to have 150 beds, including 50 beds. They'll provide good medical surgical care for people who also have mental health and addiction problems. And that'll be followed, and when it opens its door in late 2023, just a little over a year ago, it'll be a great big expansion of our program, and that'll be followed shortly by a new building at Harborview. We're going to build a new building with a huge bond measure that the county, that you all as county voters, if you're a King County voter, you probably voted for this. But we're going to get a beautiful new building to pull together all of the behavioral health services that we provide at Harborview. And we're also investing with our colleagues at Children's in new facilities for providing care for children. So I think we are looking at a tremendous amount of growth and expansion over the next couple of years. And in that context, what I would say is we will have tremendous opportunities for all to come and join us here and work with us, teach with us, see patients with us. And those of you, like I said, who are staying with us, I think it's a great future. Those of you who are going somewhere else, I've done that before, and you can come back. The good news with that is you go see something else somewhere else, and then you bring that back here. Because if nobody ever goes away, we start thinking we're the best in the world, and we probably could still learn a few things. So anytime you have an open invitation from me, from any of us in leadership roles here in this organization, to come back and talk to us about, if you have an interest in working and teaching with us. All right. That's my speech right there. All right. So that's my signal. Get off the stage, man. So with that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. That's Dr. Heidi Combs. Heidi is our really amazing Vice Chair for Education, and she's going to help us get on with our program. Heidi, come on up.
So, how exciting is it that we get to do this in person and you are not having to graduate on Zoom? Can I get a woo woo? Come on, right? So I think it was probably in December or January that Athena's like, what are we going to do about graduation? It's coming. It seems like she just whips these things out, but of course it takes a huge amount of planning for those of you who are plan events. I'm seeing a lot of head nods. And we're like, I think we should plan to do it in person. And then she's like, well, I don't know. And then I was like, let me talk to the boss. So then I talked to Jurgen, and Jurgen's like, well, I think we should plan it, and if we need to pivot, lots of pivoting happening, right? There used to be drill down, and now we don't drill down anymore, we pivot. So we thought we could always pivot if we needed to, and then we could switch it to something that was virtual. And then as we were feeling really good in the spring, right? Numbers were going down, we're like, we totally have this. And then things started not looking quite as good, and Athena's like, what do you think we should do about graduation? I said, we're going for it, right? If we have to wear hazmat suits, we'll just do that if we need to, but we're gonna do this in person because we wanna be able to do this celebration in person. I appreciate that all of you were respectful and didn't bring your whole horde, because I'm sure you guys got posses that are very large. And we wanted to be able to have this in person, but also needed to reduce risk. And so we only let people bring a couple people. So I appreciate that y'all made the cut, because you got to be here in person, and I also appreciate you all respecting that. And the good thing is, you see there's video cameras up. So you, personally, if you're a graduate, can watch this over and over and over again. Or if you're not graduating and your family isn't able to be, or you're graduating but your family isn't able to be here, they can watch it over and over and over. It'll be like those wedding videos that get put away somewhere that you bring out to torture your family. So it's a very exciting event. I'm really happy that you were all here. And without further ado, I'm going to invite Ty Lawseter to come and confer the certificates for our psychologists.
Thank you, everyone. I too am very excited to be here in person. This is my friend and partner in crime, Chuck Bombardier, or Dr. Charles Bombardier from the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine. And we are going to present the certificates, and then Chuck is also going to finish up with doing the awards for our psychology residents. I'm going to take a little more time than I normally do, just because it has been a few years since we've done this, so I'm going to take the time from the last 2 years and bring it forward to say a few things. I know, the psychology internship program, just for those of you who don't know, was founded in 1961 with the goal of achieving excellent clinical, didactic, and research training firmly rooted in what we call the science practitioner model. This is our 61st year of graduating psychology residents in this department. The program has been continuously accredited by the American Psychological Association since 1965 and has built a strong national reputation on medical-based psychology internship training in general adult, general child psychology, autism and developmental disabilities, behavioral medicine, and rehabilitation medicine. Our faculty include some of the nationally recognized researchers and clinicians with a strong interest in teaching and clinical work. And our program is committed to advancing diversity in recruitment and the training of our psychology residents. And as all of you know, this program does not exist without tons of people who support us. So I really want to thank the departmental leaderships of Jurgen, as well as Peter Esselman from the Department of Rehab Medicine. I want to thank our Associate Vice Chair of Education, Heidi Combs, who I meet with every month. I want to thank Dr. Chuck Bombardier as being a partner who handles this and helps me greatly. I want to thank our previous training directors who are, in my opinion, mentors and friends to mine. They are both Dr. Joan Romano and Dr. Elizabeth McCauley. I want to thank also our track coordinators. So we have Drs. Adam Carmel, Eileen Toohey, Jennifer Gertz, Ivan Moulton, Jeff Sherman, and I would like to thank Michelle Bedard-Gilligan, who is our former adult track coordinator. I want to thank all of them, and I counted on our website today, it was 87 different psychologists who serve as training directors or research mentors to our residents, and my colleagues and psychiatrists who also work with our psychology residents on inpatient consult liaison services in both UW Medical Center, Harborview Medical Center, Seattle Children's, and all the other places they help us train. I want to thank our educational support staff, which includes Athena, Christy, Liz, Marie, and Lee. I want to thank our program coordinator, Cynthia Long, who has helped me immensely keep this program going, despite all the stuff that's going on. And then I want to thank, of course, most of all, the psychology residents. Because without you, this resident program wouldn't even need to exist. And for those of you who don't know, our psychology residents are actually completing their last year of training to receive their doctoral degree in clinical psychology. And unlike other training programs, they don't just do that at their home institution. As Jürgen said, they come from across the country and sometimes across countries to come and visit and only be here for 1 year. So they take all of that expense and personal tribute to come and apply to our program and then come and work with our patients. I also want to acknowledge that today has been a really hard day. It's been a hard year, but it's been a really hard day. I was excited for graduation and then woke up to announcements that I was not very happy to hear about. So when I get down, a good coping skill is to actually think of what can I do to make myself feel better, and I did just that. I actually Googled today, what does psychology and psychiatrists even have to offer humanity? And that is what I found. I'm going to read you a small part of it because it is the only thing that kept me going to get me here this morning, along with a couple glasses of wine and a glass of champagne. I know. I think it doesn't only apply to psychologists, it applies to psychiatrists as well. But this is what I found. Psychologists understand the biological, social, and environmental research and are trained to apply solid evidence to improve human lives across cultures and language. To become a psychologist, one must demonstrate a high professional, scientific, and ethical knowledge and standards. Psychologists advance preparations in emphasizing technical and scientific autonomy and independent roles with interdisciplinary teams to promote human well-being in the area of every event of life: families, school, universities, health, workplace, public service, and communities, just to name a few. Psychologists work to apply the scientific method and complementary diagnostic, assessment, and reason skills to provide comprehensive and integrated approaches to human health, employing psychologists as independent decision-making roles aligned with their advanced degree training. As the world faces, and I really mean this, as the world faces unprecedented crises, psychologists contribute to the alleviation of physical, emotional, mental health on individuals, groups, and communities that are critical. And I mean that to all of my current graduates. We need you. And I'm excited that you are graduating. It is my hope that this internship year, which I know has been hard on you, that what lies ahead is I'm inspired to see what you will be able to bring us in your optimism that you have shown every day, your energy, your brilliant ideas, and your compassion for other people to make this world a better place. What I look forward to is watching your careers grow and knowing that we had some small part in helping you launch that career, and really looking for the contributions you're going to make to our society. So thank you all. With that, thank you. And with that, it is my honor to start presenting the graduate certificates. I am first going to do the general adult track. Will the two residents from the general adult track please come up? What we have decided to do this year was to have them write a personal summary of what they experienced this year, and then I will tell you where they're going. So Jennifer Perlstein, raise your hand. Jennifer Perlstein wrote, during the internship year, I have enjoyed working with multiple disciplinary outpatient settings and especially valued the gained training and skills in trauma treatment as well as through the comprehensive DBT program. I appreciate the program's flexibility and support to enable me to pursue my interest in rehabilitation populations. I have learned so much from the exceptional supervisors, patients, colleagues, and co-residents. I am very happy to say that Jen will be staying with us here at the University of Washington as a postdoctoral fellow, crossing departments into the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine. And she is going to be working on research to improve the lives of people with disabilities. She is really looking forward to gaining clinical and research skills to enhance and disseminate disability-affirmed mental health care. Thank you, Jen. Kelly Correa. Kelly comes to us from the University of Illinois at Chicago. During the internship year, Kelly writes, I have greatly enjoyed working and learning with my supervisors at both UW and Harborview. It has been incredibly supportive, knowledgeable, and helpful in my journey towards becoming an independent clinician. I'm also incredibly thankful for the opportunities to have learned from my highly skilled and wonderfully supportive cohort mates. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly is going to be going on to a postdoctoral fellowship at UC San Diego, where she will be conducting research on ethnic differences in the neuromechanisms that connote vulnerabilities, internalizing, and substance use disorders. Congratulations, Kelly. Thank you. Anthony for the Autism and Developmental Disabilities track. Anthony, will you come up? Anthony Osuna, graduating from the University of California, Santa Barbara. Anthony writes, this year, I have enjoyed participating in a range of clinical and research opportunities at the University of Washington and Seattle Children's. I appreciate my supervisors who have taken the responsibility for my development and have provided opportunities for me to grow. After completion of my internship year, I will be starting my research postdoc here at the Seattle Children's, both in research and clinical work, as well as a faculty position in the Department of Psychology in their UW Master's Program for Applied Child and Adolescent Psychology in the Prevention and Treatment track, where I will be teaching and mentoring students. I look forward to staying in Seattle, we are too, thrilled that you are staying, and having a blend of research, clinical, and teaching skills. Congratulations. Thank you. And at last, I will be finishing up with the general child track. Will the 4 residents from Child please come up? I will start with McKenna Parnas. There she is. So McKenna comes to us from Suffolk University. McKenna writes, my feelings about finishing the internship year are truly dialectical. I love psychologists. Dialectical. I am happy to be moving forward in my career and sad that this part of my training is ending. I have learned so much from the youth and families for whom I have had the privilege to work. These relationships, as those of my supervisors and cohort, have contributed to my growth and capacity to empathize as a clinician and as a researcher. I am most grateful for the community that I have had gained in my cohort, who has supported me through the challenging times and celebrated me in moments of joy. I am happy to say that McKenna will be staying here at the University of Washington as well as a postdoctoral fellow in our Primary Care Psychiatry and Rehabilitation Integration Fellowship. Congratulations. Tina Schweitzer, who came to us from the University of Illinois at Irvine-Champaign. Tina writes, the breadth of experience from outpatient neuropsychology, inpatient, consult liaison rotations has allowed me to work with youth and families dealing with complex psychological and medical difficulties that enhance my ability to work and train on multidisciplinary teams. I've especially loved the stellar DBT and team and training, inpatient and outpatient group therapy experiences, the opportunities to strengthen my assessment and intervention skills for internalizing problems, self-harm, and suicidality among adolescents. I am incredibly grateful to how much I have learned over the internship year and being able to work with exceptionally kind, passionate, and knowledgeable supervisors, training faculty, and cohort mates. I will also be happy to say that Tina is staying in Seattle, but she is actually staying at the Evidence-Based Treatment Centers for Seattle in their Dialectical Behavioral Therapy Center, where she is going to be working both in their adolescent and emerging adults populations and contributing to both their program evaluation and their research-based initiatives. Congratulations, Tina. Thank you. Our next graduate is Emma Wittmeyer. Emma comes to us from George Mason University. Emma writes, I am so grateful for the incredible training experiences I have gained from this year on internship. In particular, I'm excited to receive training from the infamous DBT program. Experiences on the consult liaison service and the PCIT training unit were also real highlights of my year. It was also meaningful to get involved with research projects from among the University of Washington community, including works on implementation of parent coaching to foster caregivers. My supervisors and mentors provide incredible, thoughtful support and guidance, and I have loved getting to know my cohort throughout this year too. It's been truly a supportive and wonderful year. I am happy but both saddened to say that Emma is going to be leaving us. She is actually going all the way to the Seattle Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C., but we're happy to see where she's going, and as Jürgen said, there's always room to come back. So, congratulations, Emma. The last graduate that I am giving their certificate for is Alicia Zhao. Alicia came to us as both an international student as well as from Florida International University. I am thrilled that you're here. During the internship year, Alicia writes, I have enjoyed working with different supervisors and clinical populations at Seattle Children's Hospital. I've especially loved the fast-paced work of CL, as well as the opportunities to work with Mandarin-speaking families in outpatient settings. I've learned so much from my mentors, supervisors, and colleagues. My cohort is like a big family, and I feel so lucky to be a part of. I'm happy to say that she is working remotely in Seattle, but she is actually taking a position as a research analyst in position at the University of California, Irvine, and will be conducting research in digital mental health, dissemination, and implementation science. So we're glad you're staying close. Congratulations. I am happy to turn over the last of the graduating ceremony certificates and the award ceremony to my good friend, Chuck Bombardier. Chuck?
Thank you, Ty. Ty, I really appreciate you acknowledging the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine and Peter Esselman, because we're really happy to be part of this overall program. And I really want to acknowledge, although many of them can't be here, all the psychologists in rehab medicine, because I know how devoted they are to the training program and to clinical care in general. So, all right. So the first person I'd like to bring up is Mike Pugh Jr. Come on, Mike. Good to have you, Mike. All right. So in Mike's words, Mike came from Virginia Commonwealth University. In his words, during this internship year, I've enjoyed working in different clinics with unique patient populations, in addition to getting exposure to a multitude of treatment modalities. I can truly say I've learned so much this year, and for that I'm grateful. I want to give a special shout out to Janine and Pluto, too. All right. I will be going on to a postdoctoral fellowship at the West Los Angeles VA Medical Center, where I'll be working clinically within interdisciplinary health and rehabilitation teams, while also conducting health disparities research. Congratulations, Mike. Thank you. All right. Next is Tyler Toledo. Come on up, Tyler. All right. Tyler is from University of Tulsa, the clinical psychology program. In his words, this training experience has been invaluable for my clinical and professional development. I'm deeply thankful for the opportunities to observe and help facilitate human resilience in an environment serving those in need. Moreover, I'm incredibly thankful for the support of my supervisors and the brilliant cohort mates that I was able to learn from and be supported by. I have no doubt whatsoever that every one of these individuals will elicit significant change in their respective fields and environments. Following internship, I'll begin a postdoctoral fellowship at Osher Center for Integrative Medicine at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where I'll be conducting chronic pain research and gaining specialty clinical experience with chronic pain. Congratulations, Tyler. It's been great having you. All right, next, Jonathan Sen. Jonathan comes from the Illinois Institute of Technology. In his words, I've enjoyed working in different inpatient and outpatient settings and deeply appreciate the supportive, inclusive environment provided by my co-residents. I'll be going on to a postdoctoral fellowship at the Minneapolis Veterans Administration Healthcare System, where I will continue my rehab psychology training. Congratulations, Jonathan. Next is Marcus Wild. All right, Marcus comes from Vanderbilt University. In his words, it's been a privilege to be part of the psychology internship program and the Harborview community. Working with the patients and providers at HMC has left an indelible and profound impact on the way I see healthcare, trauma, resilience, and the humanity that binds us all together. I will forever be grateful for this education, the mentorship and supervision of Shelley Weechman, Chuck Bombardier, Arjun Bala, have been supportive and empowering, turning the challenges presented this year into moments for progress rather than distress. Most of all, the brilliance and kindness and courage of my fellow residents has been an inspiration and instilled optimism for the future of the field. It's been an immense pleasure and privilege to know you all. I'll be going on to a postdoctoral fellowship at the Central Texas VA Center for Excellence for Research on Returning War Veterans in Waco, Texas, where I'll be a fun guy investigating social interaction-based interventions for veterans with a history of trauma, as well as working clinically with veterans with chronic medical conditions, and also hanging out with my cats. Congrats, man. Good to see you. Next is Casey Wright. Casey heralds from West Virginia University. In his words, residency was both incredibly difficult and extremely rewarding. As a Harborview hero, Dr. Barclay Stewart would say, quote, "Unfortunately, the burdens of the world too often rest on the shoulders of the resilient," unquote. Seeing the resilience of the Harborview patient population drove me to want to advocate for them. Some of my most gratifying experiences were assisting teams to see the patient who they really were, to see patients for who they really were, humans who are worth personal sacrifices. I'm grateful for the attendings who helped boost my confidence. Most of all, I'm thankful for the cohort of residents with whom I was able to work. They truly inspired me to be better. My next position will be as a tenure-track assistant professor at the Marquette University School of Dentistry. I'll be leading the school's efforts and curriculum to teach behavioral sciences to dental students. In addition to furthering my research in behavioral dentistry, my family and I look forward to our transition to the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area and are thankful for our experiences here in Seattle. Congratulations. Good job. Next is Juan Pablo Zapata. He's not able to join us. I think Juan had to leave. Anyway, he graduated from Marquette University. Oh, are you receiving for Juan? Fantastic, Juan. All right, in my final days as a resident at the Madison Clinic, I wrapped up care with a Latina woman, Mrs. M, who had acquired HIV when she was assaulted coming from Mexico. Over the past internship year, I had the immense honor of working with many Spanish-speaking patients. And like Mrs. M, it was the first time she had the opportunity of connecting with a bilingual mental health professional. As I stepped out of the room for the final time with her, she thanked me and said, si se puede. Yes, it can be done. Reflecting on these words, I feel honored to have been given the opportunity to support patients through their recovery and witness how resilient and culturally rich they are when faced with trauma and adversity. The single most important teaching I have taken from this residency is not a lengthy list of DSM criteria and clinical manifestations, but rather a mindset, one that emphasizes individuality, diversity, compassion, and teamwork. Thank you to my cohort that has carried me through this most challenging and isolating year. Following internship, I'll be doing a T32 postdoctoral fellowship in translational science at Northwestern University. Rebecca Williams. All right. Rebecca Williams comes from Drexel University. In her words, I'm deeply grateful for the experiences I've had this past year. I've had the privilege of working with individuals and families in inpatient and outpatient settings, supporting their coping with difficult medical circumstances and developing my skills and passion as a rehab psychologist. I benefited immensely from the neuropsychology supervision I received, exploring case conceptualization and practice with attending doctors who valued the personhood of their patients and their individual experiences with neurological, psychosocial, and psychological challenges. I'm most appreciative of the experience I've had with my fellow interns and for the friendships we've built in this beautiful place. I'll be going on to a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Michigan, VA Ann Arbor, where I'll be conducting outpatient and inpatient neuropsychological assessments, teaching, and conducting research. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna get my Chuck is getting his notes because I roped him into being the chair of our awards committee this year because the chair of our awards committee unfortunately changed departments. And by doing so, I then asked Chuck to pick up the slack, and he was able to do so. So thank you, Chuck. And he's going to present our awards now.
All right, good. So I'm going to first talk about the John Carr Award. Marcus Pugh Jr., please come forward. Michael, I'm sorry. Michael Pugh Jr., please come forward. Sorry, Michael. My burgeoning aphasia is working on. All right. The John Carr Award is given to the trainee who demonstrates outstanding achievements in empirically supported psychotherapy through clinical work, research, or teaching. This year, the award goes to Mike Pugh Jr. Mike's professional interests are on implementing cultural considerations of neuropsychological conditions in research, assessment, and rehabilitation procedures. His interests are also on focusing on treating comorbid mental health diagnoses among racially and ethnically diverse patient populations in medical settings. Michael has 15 peer-reviewed publications, and those nominating him noted that he has performed theoretically rich, important research on racial disparities and racism in health populations. Congratulations, Mike. The Joseph Becker Award was already awarded earlier this year to Anthony Asuna. Congratulations. Did you give it to him now? Did you give it to him now?
Yes, I will give it to him.
Yes. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. The next award is the Joan C. Martin Award for Outstanding Contribution that recognizes a psychology resident with outstanding professional integrity and collegiality and who demonstrates genuine selfless commitment to the enhancement of well-being of others and whose visible contributions enhance our community. Please come forward, Rebecca Williams. Rebecca's nominators described her as offering quietly enthusiastic support for her fellow interns, her patients, and the wider rehabilitation community. She is described as warm and empathic. She readily offered a listening ear when needed, covered for her fellow interns, and embodied thoughtfulness, flexibility, openness, and curiosity, attributes that make her an outstanding clinician, colleague, trainee, and friend. Congratulations. The final award is the Nancy Robinson Award, otherwise known as the Director's Prize, and it's given to the graduating intern for significant achievement in research, the person who shows special promise in terms of their career in academic psychology. This year's award is given to Elisa Zhao. Please come forward. Congratulations. Throughout graduate school and internship, Ms. Zhao has been an exemplar of integrating research practice and teaching and making an impact in the community in our field. Her research portfolio merges data sciences with the field of clinical psychology. She entered the program with 12 peer-reviewed publications, 3 of which she was first author. During her internship year, she has led or contributed to at least 6 additional manuscripts. For example, she led a nonlinear moderated factor analysis of parental depression measures. She conducted a meta-analysis of complementary and alternative treatments for ADHD. She contributed to a paper on ADHD treatment mediators. She's also co-author on a wonderfully thoughtful piece in The Behavior Therapist on the invisible notice of Asian American and Asian women psychologists in academia, which raises awareness and promotes change for long-standing but often ignored discrimination and intersectionality. Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now I'd like, and I just may have to say a quick thing. If just hearing about all those amazing things that the psychologists did doesn't give you hope that things are going to be bright, I don't know what would. That was a pretty incredible. So one more round of applause for those amazing folks. Really nicely done. I'd now like to welcome Dr. Anna Rotsliff, and she's going to be presenting the Junior Psychiatry Resident Award, and then she will move on to give the presentation of certificates for the General Psychiatry residents that are graduating.
All right, thank you. I just can't say enough about how happy I am to be here in person with everyone. I have graduated a couple classes of residents that we never got to do this in person, so it's really, really exciting to be here today. And I'm really happy to represent our faculty and staff in celebrating our wonderful psychiatry residents, and I want to take this moment to thank them for all their dedication and time and really love and care that they put into their resident teaching and education. So maybe give them a round of applause. All right, and I'm trying to see if Zoe is here. Are you here? Oh, yay. Okay, Zoe, come on up. Okay. So first I have the honor to present our Junior Psychiatry Award. The Junior Psychiatry Award is given every year to an R1 or R2 who has demonstrated clinical excellence and compassion in inpatient psychiatry. This year I am so pleased to give this award to Zoe Renner. In reviewing Zoe's evaluations for this award, I got to go back through and, oh gosh, it's just amazing all the wonderful things that people had to say about Zoe, and really it was actually hard to pick just a few to share with you today. So supervisors commented on Zoe's strong patient skills, really delivering excellent patient care and connecting easily with patients, even with some of our most challenging patients, especially in our inpatient settings. Zoe is recognized and appreciated member of each team worked with, and really partnered well with people from other disciplines, taking time to explain how things were working to nurses on CL services, really also being an excellent colleague to team members. Zoe truly understands the L of consultation liaison psychiatry. Zoe also receives consistent praise for her dedication as a learner, bringing curiosity and eagerness for expanding knowledge and skills in each rotation. In sum, Zoe is a true model for providing clinical excellence to our patients and partnership in our clinical teams. Congratulations, Zoe.
I just want to say thank you to all the co-residents, fellows, attendings for this award. It really means a lot. I guess both professionally and personally, it's been a lot of growth these past 2 years. I first came to UW as a student on the CL service, and many of the graduating residents here were my first kind of residents here at UW. And I have been impressed with you since that time, and just am so excited to see you guys take your next step. So thank you for welcoming me into UW as a student, and congratulations.
Okay. So now I am thrilled to present the graduates of our psychiatry residency training program. Over their 4 years of training, these residents have learned to become really first doctors, those first days where you're signing your first prescription. In the old days, they'd actually take a picture of you signing your first script. And now psychiatrists. They have dedicated themselves to patient care, and over the last year especially served as inspiring role models to our entire resident community. I'll be presenting each of the residents individually, but before I do, I want to congratulate the entire group. These graduates have been adaptable in the face of many challenges over their time in residency. Many of our residents have also dedicated time to specific areas of psychiatry, and so will receive an area of distinction for this work. You can see that noted in your program. I'll also mention it as I talk about each of them. I'm really excited to see what they will go on to contribute in their next communities, whether that's continuing their training in a fellowship program, we'll hear about that, or starting to practice. We are very proud to be graduating such an amazing group of psychiatrists. Please join me in joyful celebration of all they have accomplished and all that is yet to come. Okay, so what I'm going to do is have the graduates come up and stand here, I think is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. We haven't done it in person one in a long time. Give us a minute. So if I can just have you guys kind of ready, psychiatry graduates, to come up. It's going to be alphabetical, so you can kind of predict when you're going to come by last name. And the first graduate actually, unfortunately, is not able to be here, but we would like to honor her anyway. So Carol Barnes received her BS in biology from Slippery Rock University before matriculating at Georgetown University Medical School. During her residency, Carol has demonstrated exceptional care, thoughtfulness, empathy, and nuanced clinical reasoning in working with extremely complex patient populations. Supervisors have appreciated the dedication and rigor she brought to all of her clinical and scholarly work. She reports that highlights of her time in residency were a publication in the Journal of Academic Psychiatry and the Law called Capital Punishment as it Pertains to Juvenile Offenders, and her poster presentation at the Annual American Academy of Psychiatry and the Law 2021, Assessment of Mental Health Clinicians' Approach to Legal Updates. We are excited that Carol will actually be staying here in Seattle, working full-time at the King County Correctional Facility and part-time in our Harborview Medical Center Psychiatric Emergency Service, serving as a faculty member and mentor for future residents. Congratulations, Carol. Okay, Kristen, come on up. So Kristen Ballinger completed her undergraduate degree at Whitman in biology and medical school here at the University of Washington School of Medicine. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. Kristen is dedicated to improving the mental health care of youth and has spent the last year of training as a first-year child and adolescent fellow at Seattle Children's. Highlights of her residency include gratitude that she has continued her education and learning from the wonderful faculty and co-residents at UW, especially the support and wisdom during weekly tea group. For those of you that don't know, that's a support group you get to do all 4 years of residency training. During her years as an adult psychiatry, in the adult psychiatry program, she has valued her time learning psychiatry and primary care setting at the VA and participating in the dialectical behavior therapy program. Next year, she will continue her final year of training as a child and adolescent psychiatry fellow at Seattle Children's. Congratulations, Kristen. So exciting to see you. We haven't seen all of each other very often recently, so it's really nice. Okay. Cynthia Beltran, please come up. So Cynthia Beltran is from Illinois and attended Northwestern with a degree in biology and medical school at the University of Chicago, Illinois. University of Illinois, Chicago. Her supervisors comment on Cynthia's wealth of experience in providing culturally sensitive and curious care to her patients and her dedication to always providing the highest quality of care to each patient. She has earned Area of Distinction in Global Mental Health and has served as our Chief Resident of Recruitment and Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Cynthia reports that the highlights of her time in residency include her rotations at the Lummi Tribal Health Center, her continuity clinic at the UW Outpatient Psychiatry Clinic, and working as part of the Anti-Racism Working Group and the Faculty Resident Fellow EDI Group. We are so pleased that Cynthia will continue her training here in Seattle as a fellow at the Seattle Children's Hospital Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Fellowship Program for the next 2 years. Congratulations, Cynthia. Can I give you a hug? Yeah, so you get certificates and everything all with your thing there. Okay. All right, Elena Durkitz, please come up. Elena received her BA in neuroscience from Barnard College and then graduated from Emory University School of Medicine. Elena matched in her program in 2015. And then completed a year here with us, and then went on to complete an entire other residency in internal medicine before returning to fulfill her goal of being a board certified in both psychiatry and internal medicine. So lots and lots of training and graduations for you. Okay, supervisors have been so impressed with her tenacious advocacy and care for her patients, even commenting that working with Elena has made them a better doctor. She is committed to providing high-quality, evidence-based care to all of her patients. She exhibits a high degree of professionalism and a team-oriented approach with the other residents, appreciating her excellence as a role model during training calls. Alana has earned the area of distinction in psychotherapy, and we are so excited that she will stay within our system as a full-time position at the outpatient mental health clinic at the Seattle VA, with a day a week devoted to primary care for homeless veterans, so achieving that lifelong goal. And additionally, I would like to present Alana with the Clinical Excellence Award for her phenomenal clinical skills in all clinical settings in which she has worked. Congratulations, Alana. So you'll hear I'll slip in a few awards along the way, so that was one of them. Okay. So Jacob Goyden, come on up. So Jake is a PNW native who was completed his undergraduate degree at Pomona College, a master's in cell biology at Boise State, and medical school at Case Western Reserve University before coming here for residency. Jake has shown exceptional dedication as a strong advocate for our patients and residents. Supervisors have consistently commented on how he cares and thinks deeply about his patients, his strong work ethic, and his attention to his learning. He has earned area of distinction in psychotherapy and served as the chief resident of outpatient care at Harborview Medical Center. He predicted this wonderful evening by sharing that this would be a highlight of residency, which I really appreciate, and that we would be celebrating this graduation in person. We are thrilled that he'll be staying in Seattle to work both in private practice and continuing to serve in our system part-time as an outpatient attending at psychiatrist at Harborview. Congratulations, Jake. Okay, Molly Howland, come on up. All right, so Molly completed her undergraduate degree in neuroscience at UCLA and medical school at Case Western Reserve University. She brings an impressive growth mindset to her clinical work and scholarship and has won national awards from both the Academy of Academic Psychiatry and ADPERT for her teaching contributions, including starting the Psychiatry Interdisciplinary Education Service, or PIES, to increase non-psychiatric trainees' comfort with psychiatric concerns. And I receive wonderful letters of appreciation all the time from that service still, and the work that our residents do to help educate their other colleagues. Molly has earned an area of distinction in integrated care and teaching scholars pathway. She's enjoyed cultivating leadership and mediation skills as the Harborview Consultation Liaison and Psychiatry Emergency Services Chief Resident. Molly's highlights of residency include opportunities to develop as a teacher, her enthusiasm for socializing and planning many an event, both formally and through the Wellness Committee and informally with her co-residents. She hopes to improve access to care and completed research on psychiatric services, such as the collaborative care model. We are excited that Molly will continue her training and consultation liaison fellowship at the Cleveland Clinic, and even more excited that when she listed her future plans, she says she wants to do academic psychiatry and may even consider coming back here. Additionally, I would like to present Molly with 2 awards. The Award for Academic Excellence, which recognizes excellence in research, leadership, and clinical work, and the promise for an academic career, and the Outstanding Teacher Scholar Award for her dedication to teaching. Congratulations, Molly. All right, Lewis, where are you? Okay, there you are. All right, Lewis Kerwin completed his Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry at Princeton University and attended Weill Cornell College for medical school before coming here to join us for residency. Lewis has explored a broad range of psychiatric topics during residency, and as supervisors comment on his curiosity and deep commitment to learning that he brings to all of his work. Lewis is a strong clinician, thoughtful about his patient care, and nuanced in his clinical reasoning. Lewis has earned area of distinction in psychopharmacology and served as our chief resident for call. In this role, he was consistently flexible, thoughtful in his communication to other residents, and a dedicated problem solver. Although we will miss Lewis as he moves to Charlotte, North Carolina, we are excited that he will continue his dedication to patient care as an emergency psychiatrist at Atrium Health. Congratulations, Lewis. Okay. All right, Chris Wynn. Chris received his BA in biology from the University of North Texas and completed his medical training at the University of Texas Southwestern before we got to recruit him here. Chris's supervisors consistently comment on his commitment to his patients and an ability where he shows genuine interest in his patients, listening and seeking to truly understand what they are experiencing both in their lives and in their treatment. He brings the same curious stance to his own learning, engaging in his clinical and scholarly work with a strong growth mindset. He has earned area of distinction in community leadership psychiatry, global mental health, perinatal pathway, and the teaching scholars pathway. So Chris was very busy during residency. Chris has served as our Harborview inpatient chief resident and led the development of a diversity, equity, and inclusion toolkit to improve our resident didactic series. We are excited that Chris will stay here in the UW system as a CL fellow next year. Yay. Additionally, I would like to present Chris with the award for dedication to public psychiatry and social justice for his commitment to this area demonstrated across his 4 years of residency. Congratulations, Chris. And that's a big pile. Okay, Jesse Paulson. All right. Jesse received his BA in theater from Harvard College before completing medical school at the University of Washington School of Medicine in the underserved pathway. Jesse supervised comment that he is an excellent clinician, extremely thoughtful, professional, mature, and adept at thinking through systems-related issues. He has earned an area of distinction in both the psychotherapy and community leadership pathways. He has served as the UW outpatient chief resident. Jesse reports that highlights of residency include the birth of his daughter, Elka Louise, in June of 2020, developing a new parenting and other life-changing circumstances rotation, which I am also very grateful for, serving as a chief resident, receiving the Junior Resident Award, starting his psychoanalytic training, serving as the co-lead of the community leadership pathway and psychotherapy pathway, and completing residency as a committed bike commuter through all 4 years, which is a feat here in Seattle with all of the rain. We are thrilled that Jesse will stay in the Seattle area and will be busy starting a private practice with a mix of psychotherapy, psychoanalytic, and psychopharmacology patient care, continuing his psychoanalytic training at the Seattle Psychoanalytic Society and Institute, working part-time at Swedish Ballard inpatient psychiatry, and even better for us, serving as a psychotherapy supervisor and teacher of residents as a courtesy faculty member. Additionally, I would like to present Jesse with the Clinical Excellence Award for his phenomenal clinical care in all clinical settings in which he has worked. Congratulations, Jesse. Congratulations. Oh. Okay, Stephen Phillips. Thank you for standing up already. All right, Stephen graduated from the University of Missouri Kansas City School in the combined baccalaureate and MD program. His supervisors consistently comment on his work as a strong clinician. He demonstrates excellent interpersonal skills, warmth, and empathy with his patients, and is able to build and maintain rapport with even the most ambivalent patients, who often become more engaged in therapy in their work with Stephen. Highlights of residency include serving as the VA chief resident. In this role, he has been appreciated for modeling integrity and professionalism and his dedication to teaching residents. We are so pleased that Stephen will be continuing to serve veteran patients as he moves to Durham, North Carolina. We wouldn't mind if he stayed here, but that's okay, and continue his work at a VA. Additionally, I would like to present Stephen with the Chief Resident Award this year to honor his excellence in leadership as a role of Chief Resident at the VA. Congratulations, Stephen. Oh, it gets hard. When you actually have to say goodbye, I don't know. I know I haven't done it in person before, so I can have my moment. Okay. Amelia Went, come on up. Okay, Amelia received her BS in biology and her MD from the University of Minnesota. Amelia is dedicated to perinatal mental health in both her clinical care and scholarship. She is warm and caring with her patients, establishes rapport quickly and thoughtfully in her care plans. Supervisors have appreciated that she seeks out learning opportunities and is a self-directed learner with a strong growth mindset. She's earned area of distinction in both the integrated care and perinatal pathways. Amelia has served as our chief resident at the University of Washington Inpatient Service. Highlights of her residency including making lifelong friendships with incredible co-residents, learning from supportive mentors, and exploring the stunning Pacific Northwest. We are excited that Amelia will stay here at UW starting in the UW Mental Health Fellowship this summer. Additionally, I would like to present Amelia with the Outstanding Resident Award for her dedication to creating and supporting a community of learning and excellence in her clinical, scholarly, and administrative roles. Congratulations, Amelia. Okay, Colin went. There's a baby pass-off that I think has to happen. All right. Colin received his BA in Physiology and Spanish Studies and his MD from the University of Minnesota. In addition to dedication to youth mental health, Colin brought a passion for narrative writing and his interest in sharing yoga as a project in our child settings to his time in our adult psychiatry program. Over the last year, he started his fellowship at the Seattle Children's Hospital. It's really nice to see you again. And in the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry program. We are pleased that he will continue his training to serve youth next year as he enters his final year as a Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Fellow at the Seattle Children's Hospital. Congratulations, Colin. Okay, I think that's everybody. I did it. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And one more ginormous round of applause for those amazing residents. And now I'd like to invite. Yes.
Can I say one thing?
Oh, go ahead.
And a big round of applause for Anna Rotsliff,
Oh, yes.
who has taken this cohort of residents through a really, really complicated 4 years. So thank you.
We're gonna get her to cry one way or other by the end of the day. So now I want to invite up Dr. Kirsten Aylin, who is the PD for our Boise residency, to confer the awards to her residents. And shall I stay up here and hang out with? That'd be great. Thank you.
All right. Nice to see some of you I know, and those of you that don't know me, I'm Kirsten Allen. I'm the track director for the Idaho track, and we also started a 4-year psychiatry residency program in Boise. So we're doing a lot in Idaho. I think we're called like the happy track. Is that what I'm told? Sure. That so we had 3 residents who graduated from our happy track this year, but only one of them is here with us, Dr. Jasdeep Gill, today. So I'll bring him in. So I'm not following your model, Anna. Where did you go? I know you did med school at University of Utah. Yes. Undergrad. Same. University of Utah. And economics? Yep. Okay. All right. All right. Good. Well, so Jasdeep has been a pleasure to have in our residency track. I had the opportunity to supervise him in his clinical work at the VA, and I noticed a lot of really great things, but the thing that really stuck out to me that he is a methodical diagnostician, and that allowed me to really feel confident in your clinical work as we worked together. And me being your supervisor, I knew that when you told me about the assessments that you had of your patients, that you were right on, and you had some great treatment plans for them. Additionally, Dr. Gill, or Jasdeep, has a strong interest in telepsychiatry, so supervising him in the throes of a pandemic was really fun because he knew exactly what he was doing when he was seeing all of his patients by telepsychiatry, and even taught me a few things. And other supervisors have described Jasdeep as bright and personable, thorough, a hard worker, flexible, committed to learning, an excellent biological psychiatrist, and he's also been noted to demonstrate a strong sense of responsibility for his patients as well as have a strong clinical acumen. He also served as our wellness and recruitment chief this academic year and was very impressive. He worked tirelessly to promote class cohesion. He planned a whole bunch of wellness events for our residents. And he even started the first ever, and hopefully this continues to happen, chiefing ceremony, where the outgoing chiefs have the incoming chiefs put their hand on the DSM, say a pledge to psychiatry, to the residency program. And we know that that's going to really just ground them in their role as the incoming chief residents. We also, since we have a new program in Idaho with our first PGY1 class, we had a 4-year retreat. So you guys have your Seattle retreat, which our track residents go back to, but we also had an Idaho retreat this year, and Jasdeep planned it. We had a 3-legged race where he tied all the attendings to residents, and we raced each other. And we also had to play 2 truths and a lie, the residents and the attendings together. So it was a really great time. He also designed an Instagram account for our residency, which we did not have before, so that was very helpful, I think, for our recruitment season, and has just brought a lot of wonderful enthusiasm to this role and also a wonderfully dry sense of humor. So it's been great working with you, Jasdeep. I'm happy to report that you are looking at telepsychiatry programs, that even if you do move out of the state of Idaho, you'll still be taking care of our Idaho patients. So thank you and congratulations. Our other 2 graduates are Andrew Johnson and Nick Hovda, and neither of them could be here with us today, but congratulations to them as well.
Thank you, Dr. Aylin, for making the big trek from all the way from Idaho up to here. And let's give a round of applause for our Idaho colleagues. Thank you very much. So I now get to present the certificates for the Addiction Psychiatry Fellowship. And I understand there's actually one of the fellows here today. Is it true? Not true. They're not here. Well, I lied. But I'm going to still talk nice things about them. Dr. Jonathan Buchholz, who is the fellowship director, couldn't be with us tonight, but he sent this a little later than I would like to have him sent it, but he sent it, so here it is. So I'm going to say nice things about them. So, Michael, you are going to the VA, the West LA VA. Is Michael in here anymore? He ran away. Michael ran away. Anyway, you have a colleague. This fellow from our addictions, Lala Park, is going to be heading there. So you have to tell him that he's got a colleague from our geriatric or our addictions fellowship. So Lala Park completed her general psychiatry residency at the University of Chicago before she joined her addiction fellowship here. She has been a strong advocate for underserved populations, having served as the Albert Schweitzer Fellow. Lala worked on multiple educational projects this year, including a presentation regarding inhalant use at the Washington State Addiction Medicine Conference, which all 3 of the fellows did. She will be continuing her advocacy and passion for working with the underserved patients in West LA with Michael at the VA, so you have to tell him, where she'll be doing assertive community treatment for those experiencing homelessness, substance use, and severe mental illness. So let's have a round of applause for Lala, even though she's not here. And the second is Sam Russell, who completed his residency at the University of Chicago before returning to his medical school alma mater, to complete his addiction psychiatry fellowship. He has been noted throughout his fellowship as a strong leader, very academically grounded, and is a consummate professional. Sam joined his cohort, also presenting on the inhalant presentation at the Washington State Addictions Medicine Conference. And check where he's moving. Heidelberg, Germany, to be with his wife, and he's going to be doing telepsychiatry. So congratulations to Sam. And last but not least is Beverly Shim, and Bev joined the addiction psychiatry program here after completing her residency at Cornell in general psychiatry. And she's passionate for psychotherapy, and she's a dedicated clinician, and she always was described as going above and beyond for her patients. And she also presented, there's a pattern here, at the Washington State Conference for addiction medicine on inhalants. She's going to be pursuing her interest in dynamic therapy through a combination of private practice and group practice in Philly and in New York. So that rounds up our addictions fellows. And without further ado, I'd like to invite Dr. Marcela Pasquale to present the CL Fellow.
Okay, so Michelle, Richa, come up here. And Richa too. So hi, my name is Marcela Pasquale. I direct the CL Fellowship. I have 3 fellows, but my fellow Christina Lee is out ill today. So I'll present my other 2 fellows. So fellows come to train at the UW with the expectation of advancing their knowledge and becoming experts in an area of medicine. My fellows came to train in consultation and liaison across 3 great hospitals under the supervision and tutelage of actually wonderful faculty. But it's truly a two-way street for me personally. The fellows that I have trained over the years have provided me with the motivation and passion that have consistently fueled my career. We, the faculty, are the true beneficiaries of this exchange because every year we are honored to have at our side brilliant junior psychiatrists that enrich our everyday life with their knowledge, their experience, and their personal selves. The fellows have asked me to thank their family and friends for the love and support they have received during their careers, for all of you believing in them from the start. You made it possible, and they thank you from the bottom of their hearts. So let me start with Richa. Come over here, and look what I have for you to remember the Huskies. Remember us. Okay. So Dr. Richa Vijay Varghia, also known as Dr. VJ. Richa earned her medical degree at the University of Central Florida College of Medicine and completed her residency at Baylor. I was impressed by Richa from the moment I met her. So bright and intelligent, but more importantly, so able to be her genuine self, without pretensions, always earnest and grounded, focused on her professional development and ensuring that patients are her #1 priority. She reveals herself like a songbird, ringing in sincerity and honesty that is so disarming and charming. I don't know how many mornings on Thursdays I was so disarmed by her as she takes quick strides towards achieving her goals. Her future trainees will be extremely fortunate to have such a bright, gifted, and kind role model that will encourage them to be themselves, to discuss their missteps freely and without judgment, and stay on the path of lifelong learning to become excellent physicians. Richa has accepted a CL position at the University of Florida. She'll be joining the faculty there, and she'll be training residents and medical students. So I'm going to talk about Christina Lee, who's not here today, because unfortunately she is ill, and I'm sorry she's not here. I was looking forward to meeting her parents and congratulating them for such a lovely daughter. So Dr. Christina Lee, she earned her medical degree from UC Davis and completed her residency at Cambridge Health Alliance Harvard Medical School. Christina is so bright, always thinking and reflecting. She reminds me of an eagle, always attentive, surveying the context, attempting to understand the path that led our patients to us with a focus on advocacy for their well-being in the hospital setting. During rounds, I have looked forward to hearing her carefully formulated questions that needed to be asked and answered for all of us to move ahead with a better sense of our patients' struggles and needs. Her trainees will be blessed by having the opportunity to watch an expert, sensitive, and thoughtful interviewer that has learned just to be with her patients and help them reveal themselves without shame in a holding environment, which is, after all, the ultimate goal of our field. Christina will be joining the faculty at UC Davis, where she'll be working as an inpatient and outpatient consultation liaison psychiatrist. She will be involved in collaborative care and working in a new centralized outpatient CL clinic. So last but not least, Dr. Michelle Ouisi. Michelle earned her medical degree from the University of Nebraska Medical Center, and she completed her residency here at the UW. Michelle came to the fellowship after completing her chief year at Harborview, and like a prized racehorse, she could not wait to get out of that gate. She took off fast and steady, always excelling, but I was most taken by her ability to know when to stop, listen, and take in with so much heart and kindness the hardships of our patients, and then place 200% effort to ensure that they got the best care possible. Her future trainees will be fortunate to be trained by a physician that always places patients and duty first. Michelle will be joining our faculty at Harborview as an inpatient consultation liaison attending and is already being heavily recruited to be involved in residency training. So yes, all year, we, the faculty, have had songbirds and eagles and racehorses by our side. We have been blessed during another long pandemic year to have these three brilliant stars by our side, illuminating our days and making work and life so worthwhile. We are honored to have contributed to your training and so appreciative of all your efforts and excellent high-quality work. You have been top-notch role models for our residents and medical students. Thank you so, so much. Take all my little notes here and my tears.
It's Marcela, I'll give this to your resident.
Oh, thank you.
And Marcela, after how many years as a fellowship training director? I didn't say how many years she's old. Stop it. How many years have you been
Over
fellowship director? A long time.
25.
Yeah, she's been with us as an attending at the VA and has been the fellowship director for more years than we'll count, we'll say. Has decided to retire, so this is probably going to be her last graduation with us. One more graduation. Oh, we're not done with her yet. That was a preamble, so get ready for the big waterworks next year. Okay. So I get the pleasure of presenting the Geriatric Psychiatry Fellowship Awards because Dr. Lucy Wong, who runs the fellowship, was unable to be with us. Are any of the Geri Fellows here? But it doesn't stop me from saying nice things, does it? No, so I'm going to do that now. So the first is Dr. Alana Cote, who joined us after completing her residency program at the Zucker Hillside Hospital at Hofstra Northwell School in New York. She arrived already very experienced in teaching and leadership in her residency program and having designed and taught weekly lectures to psychiatry for the internal medicine and family medicine residents. So she started teaching before she even joined us. She'd also served on her residency council. Her excellence continued through her fellowship. Teaching has been a highlight where she developed and taught a 5-hour geriatric psychiatry didactic for the Spokane Psychiatry Residency with fantastic reviews from the attendees of that. And she also taught didactic sessions on catatonia, near and dear to my heart, to the Geri Medicine Fellows at the UW. She's also a fantastic clinician. She's well liked by patients, families, and team members. Her plans are to do locum work in Southern California and before making a permanent decision to come back to the Pacific Northwest. So a hiatus and she'll be back with us. So round of applause for Alina. And the second is Dr. Lisa Dominguez Coleman, who joined us after completing a residency program in Texas Tech University Health Sciences in El Paso, Texas. She also arrived with a whole bunch of accolades from residency faculty describing her leadership in their wellness program in the midst of the COVID crisis there, and numerous descriptions about how compassionate, supportive, and careful she was with both of her patients and colleagues. This was evident during her fellowship with us as well. Her ability to work in teams was identified as exceptional. Academic accomplishments included submitting publication for a case series on pyrimevanserin in patients with dementia with Lewy bodies under the mentorship of Debbie Swang, and I'm very pleased to say that she is staying in the area. She's going to be here at the Seattle VA. So I'd like to congratulations. So I now get to move into the presentation of special awards, and I actually am presenting the first award. And the first award it's the Stephen G. Hoffman Memorial Award. And this award, which is going to be going to the good Dr. Jake Goyden. So I'd like to be up here, Jake, while I can embarrass you about how fabulous you are. So this is an award that is given in memoriam annually at the graduation to an R4 or R3 who has really shown special dedication to leadership in community psychiatry. And this year, of course, Jake is the recipient, which is why I've got him standing next to me. He was chosen because he's not only seen as a highly capable and reliable resident he's super dedicated to equitable care, and he really focuses on doing that in the public sector. And he was also like a super effective chief resident who helped build and support a complex new supervised assessment clinic experience for his peers, and also helped expand access to psychiatric care, often to our underserved populations, and also enabled a more robust training experience for residents in public sector community mental health. In this process, he has developed into an effective leader showing adeptness at facilitating consensus building and pragmatic problem solving around complex system challenges. That's a nice way of saying when things are a hot mess, he rises to the occasion. This was also in addition to the amazing work that he did facilitating residents training in our outpatient mental health clinics associated with Harborview. So I'm very excited to present this to you, so congratulations. And now I have the pleasure, I get to invite, I believe, let me look at my program here, the psychology residents who are going to be conferring the awards that they have to give to folks. So come on up.
I'll go first. Have to raise the mic after me. Hi, I'm sorry to be reading from my phone, but I'm going to. So, the behavioral medicine and rehab neuropsychology residents are eager to recognize the exceptional mentorship of Dr. Shelley Wichmann. She consistently represents and promotes the strengths of our field in challenging contexts and demonstrates dedication to her role as a supervisor. Her professional development approach to clinical training, sorry, I'm pretending my eyes are better than they are. I'm gonna hold this closer. Her professional development approach to clinical training connects rotational experiences to long-term career goals. She is flexible in supervision style and content, adapting to trainees' ambitions, strengths, and areas for growth. She has made each of our experiences individualized, which is particularly notable, as she has been the primary supervisor to almost all of the residents. Interpersonally, she consistently and genuinely checks in, enhancing trainees' sense of safety in the supervision context. Additionally, her collaborative approach embodies the junior colleague model, building confidence in residents and promoting self-efficacy. At both individual and programmatic levels, she has been responsive to trainee requests and community needs. We are grateful for her advocacy for the work-life balance that we couldn't appreciate more, and unquestioning willingness to adjust her own workload to help residents achieve it. Shelley also models dynamic navigation of demanding treatment teams serving vulnerable populations, demonstrating our value and optimizing our service. Residents, patients, and providers in other fields have benefited from her compassion, involvement in research, and knowledge of evidence-based practices. Shelley is the strength of this program and has given the residents under her supervision a model of clinical, supervisory, and research excellence to strive toward in building our own careers.
So for the adult track, Jen and I really wanted to thank Dr. Kirsten Lindgren. She's one of the supervisors of the UW Outpatient Psychiatry Clinic, and Kristen offered tremendous support in clinical work and professional development. Kristen brought warmth, humor, and rigor to supervision that pushed us to learn and grow, not just as clinicians and researchers, but also as people. She was available in and out of supervision and for both professional and personal matters. She modeled professional boundary setting, interdisciplinary consultation, and advocacy. Alongside another extraordinary supervisor, Michelle Bedard-Gilligan, Kristen offered training and consultation groups for cognitive processing therapy that strengthened the training and learning during this rotation. Supervision with Kristen was one of our highlights of the internship year, and we are so thrilled to offer her this award for the second year in a row. She really deserves it. And we also wanted to recognize Dr. Barb McCann, who couldn't be here today. As the primary rotation supervisor at Harborview, Barb served as a point person for us for this rotation and offered helpful guidance around clinical training and professional development. Barb encouraged our independence and autonomy and modeled and encouraged setting appropriate boundaries. Barb supported us during the ongoing challenges posed by the pandemic, including helping us determine the best work setting for us. Barb also helped facilitate clinical and professional opportunities for us that helped make the internship year such a positive one. She helped normalize challenging clinical issues and fostered our growth and independence. Barb helped scaffold and cater the internship to our unique needs, which enhanced the internship experience, and we are thrilled to offer her the Faculty Supervisor Award for the adult track.
Hello. Neither of the child people who are getting awards are here, so this will just go out to them generally. Our first award goes to David Brager. David has been a wonderful supervisor throughout the internship year. We all came into the program with varying degrees of neuropsychological experience, and taking into consideration our different needs, David put in the time and effort to meet each of us at our developmental levels. His knowledge of the field of neuropsychology and ability to share this information in a clear and digestible manner has truly enhanced our learning. David also spent time getting to know us and our interests, demonstrating investment not only in our personal growth, but our professional well-being as well. He provided recommendations for adventures in Seattle and across the state of Washington, and carved out time in each supervision to check in about our lives in a way that felt supportive and genuine. We express significant gratitude for David's care and consideration as a supervisor, and have all walked away from the neuropsychology rotation as more well-rounded researchers and clinicians thanks to his support. So thank you, David Brager. And we'd also like to give an award to Frida Liu. Frida has also been an exceptional mentor and supervisor throughout the internship year. We can all agree that Frida is a strong advocate for equitable care, training, and research. She centers social justice in all aspects of her work, and she offers a safe and open space and supports BIPOC trainees and clinicians with a tremendous amount of thoughtfulness and care. She makes active efforts to increase the inclusiveness of the organization and tries to take advantage of all teachable moments to facilitate systemic changes throughout the DBT training seminars and in other clinical settings. We are also very grateful for Frida's research mentorship. Her willingness to share her time and expertise is incredibly valued and appreciated. She also weaves professional development and mentorship into all of her supervision and time with residents, which has helped us to grow even more this year. She has a collaborative and humble approach when providing supervision and consultation, and we are so grateful for her as a resource for Mandarin-speaking patients, which I know Elisa greatly benefited from. During mentorship meetings, Frida also spent time getting to know our own interests and goals, demonstrating her care for us as whole people. We are so thankful for Frida's support, mentorship, and advocacy.
Hey everyone. Adjusting to residency is hard, especially if you're a Black resident. And I entered this space with a lot of challenges. My first 6 months, we've realized how racist Seattle Children's is historically. And I was microaggressed by my interventions I was delivering. I had macroaggressions from so many places throughout this entire residency. And throughout the entire process, Jen has been so helpful at just helping me process and navigate it. I can create a list of the things that Jen did for me, but I honestly realized that list would be much shorter than what she's actually done for me. And so I'll just share a quick story about what exemplifies why Jen has been so great. A couple weeks ago, 10 Black people were murdered in Buffalo. Being a resident's hard because you can't actually have emotions. You have to just be a robot, because if you think about all the sad things, it just distracts you from being productive. And so Jen messaged me and she goes, oh, like, I know that's really challenging. It's really sad, Anthony. I hope you're doing okay. And I kept it real. I said, to be honest, Jen, I can't even like process what's going on because if I open a news article, I'm not going to be capable of doing my work. Not too long after, 19 children were murdered in an elementary school, 2 teachers. And I couldn't ignore that one. I like opened up articles and I was like, fuck, I can't pretend like this doesn't, I can't be a robot anymore. So I told Jen, and like the next morning, she gave me a phone call, and I cried a lot. And my dissertation defense was like 5 days later. And I was like, holy shit, I can't heal other people if I need to heal myself. And Jen allowed me the time to take time off. It was like truly bereavement, because the kids that died had the same last names as my relatives. So Jen's care for me as a person is why she deserves this award, in addition to what she's done for me clinically and professionally. So I can talk about Jen all day, but I gotta pass it off. I know we want to go home, but I just want to thank Jen for being so awesome.
Wow. Thank you for those heartfelt words and awards that you just conferred. Very powerful. I have the pleasure of presenting the Clinician Teacher Faculty Pathway Outstanding Junior Faculty Award. And this is being conferred to Dr. Laurel Pellegrino. She's unfortunately not feeling good tonight, so she can't be with us, but I cannot not wax poetic about how fantastic she is. She is known for her impeccable clinical skills, particularly in the area of outpatient psychotherapy. She has been a clear leader in residency education since she joined our faculty and came on as a role in the assistant program director. She completed a ginormous review of the entire didactics, which is like, how many sessions is it? I don't even like 2,000 and something. I mean, it's just some mind-boggling number. The whole program to try to revamp it, and came up with this eloquent way of rejuvenating the didactics that we have. She's been a leader within our residency for diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a real passion of hers. And I have a couple quotes from residents, but I just really think exemplify how incredible she is. The quotes are, Laurel is an outstanding attending who always finds a great balance between allowing autonomy and providing supervision. We were able to discuss our cases candidly and share our thoughts without fear of criticism and without fear of censure. Her skills should be used as a model of how to create an effective and supporting learning environment. So I want to give her a great round of well-deserved applause. I'd now like to invite Dr. Molly Howland, who will be presenting the Deb Cowley Psychiatry Chief Resident Award.
I am honored to present Dr. Anna Rotsliff with this award. Dr. Rotsliff, please come up here. So a sweeping majority of our chief residents selected Dr. Rotsliff for this award for steering the giant and complex ship that is our 80-resident residency program through the COVID era and beyond. I want to tell a story that exemplifies why I, and I think most of us, think that Dr. Rotsliff should have this award. So rewind 2.5 years, COVID struck during one of the most grueling years of our psychiatry residency. We saw the news and we saw our friends' social media posts saying, stay home, a message that contradicted the caregiver role that we had assumed. The dissonance was real. We had signed up to care for the vulnerable, but at what cost? I struggled to balance my own COVID risk factor with my duties. After some debate, I approached Dr. Rotsliff with my internal struggle. As she typically does for any resident, she offered me to text her at her personal cell phone at any hour. So we're on call like maybe every other weekend at our heaviest call times. Dr. Rotsliff is on call all the time. I took her up on the offer, and we had several conversations where she expressed her concern and helped me weigh the pros and cons of returning to full work duties. I left these conversations not only with a plan that I was confident in, but also a sense that my program director cared about both my growth as a psychiatrist and me. And this connection to Dr. Rotsliff and the program generally helped me endure COVID. Dr. Rotsliff is known to be a fierce advocate for residents, even though we're not always an easy group to lead. One resident shared that Dr. Rotsliff played a pivotal role in guiding her through new motherhood as a resident, and she's gone to bat for many residency changes to improve residents' learning and well-being, from complex rotation changes to funding a shiny new resident lounge couch to it's a saga. And also funding as many resident mixers as basically we wanted to, as we could tolerate and as the COVID situation could tolerate. I've also just really admired her ability to see all sides of any issue. So Dr. Rotsliff, thank you so much for providing a model of leadership that we chief residents can emulate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Molly. I was waiting for that award because I was waiting for the tears to come. That was kind of exciting. So I'd now like to invite Dr. Jessie Paulson, who's going to be providing the Outstanding Academic and Clinical Faculty Awards.
All right. Unfortunately, both of the faculty members we'll be awarding tonight are not here, but you know, as goes with the trend, we still got to say really nice things because there's a lot of people in this room who care about these people. So I think we can absorb that even though they're not here. So the first award goes to Chelsea Markle, who is not a psychiatrist, but is one of the 2 clinical psychopharmacologists who support the psychiatry services at Harborview Medical Center. But I think most of us residents know her more as a wizard, an encyclopedia, and an Uber attending, and a trusted colleague. Chelsea, as I said, is not here today, so I'll just briefly say that many residents wrote in to express their deep appreciation for Chelsea's generosity with her time, energy, and expertise. Many residents mentioned experiences of reaching out to Chelsea with difficult psychopharmacology questions regarding patients in their continuity clinics or at other hospitals, patients that Chelsea was not directly involved in the care of. But in each of these experiences, Chelsea would take the time to thoughtfully answer and offer her deep knowledge of psychopharmacology, which would go on to inform better clinical decision-making. The residents offer a deep bow of appreciation to you, Chelsea. The second award also goes to Laurel Pellegrino, who is unfortunately not here, which I'm sad about. But I personally have had the sincere pleasure of having Laurel as my associate program director during my tenure as the UW outpatient chief resident. I've also had Laurel as my caseload supervisor for my continuity clinic in both second and fourth years of residency. So I could speak at length about many of Laurel's wonderful traits: her clinical skill, her knowledge of psychopharmacology, her warmth and enthusiasm as a teacher, her collegiality and generosity as a colleague. But what amazes me most about Laurel is just how much she does to keep the residency program running and how humble and down to earth she remains despite that burden. She's a leader on the curriculum committee and the admissions committee. She's the UW outpatient associate program director. She coordinates nearly all aspects of psychotherapy education in the residency. She's involved in anti-racism work in the department. The list goes on and on. She is a tireless resident advocate and seems to always keep in mind the resident perspective as issues arise and policies change within the residency. I can't count how many times I've said or heard a fellow resident say, "We should probably talk with Laurel about this," or "Have you already talked with Laurel about this?" If something is happening in the residency, Laurel always seems to know what is going on, no matter how big or small. And I think that is a testament to the trust that she earns from the residents. As a result of the care and concern that she demonstrates. She has the residents' best interest at her genuine core. Many residents wrote in with comments about Laurel in support of her winning this award, too many for me to read them all here. But I want to pull out the key words from those comments here. Supportive, dedicated, practical, encouraging, an example, non-judgmental, compassionate, professional. One comment from a resident stood out that I'd like to read verbatim here. They wrote, "I can be my whole self around her and feel respected and supported in providing my best patient care. It has been an honor and a pleasure working so closely with Laurel these last 3 years, and I'm thrilled to hand off this award to her on behalf of the residents." Thank you, Laurel.
I want to thank everyone for those incredible awards and the thoughtfulness with which you presented them. They were very powerful. I think the people who are not here, who get to see that tape over and over and over, will be very overwhelmed when they have that opportunity. So thank you very much. This has been a heck of an evening, and I get to bring in Dr. Jürgen Unitzer for the final last moments.
All right. Well, wow. Thank you all for being with us this afternoon. Thanks again to our staff for creating this beautiful evening, creating this great weather. Thanks to our wonderful faculty. So those of you who didn't have the chance to learn from them got a good feel just listening to all these awards, all these beautiful comments about what an amazing group of people we have the privilege to work with here. And congrats to our graduates. It's been an honor to work with you, to learn with you, because we learn with you. We learn from you and we learn with you. And we wish each of you all the best for your next step. So remember to give your family a huge hug. Go out and have some fun. Have a great dinner, whatever you're going to do in this beautiful evening. Remember, mental health is about people and about relationships. So let's stay in touch. Thank you. Sorry about that. It's my son's battery. His battery died, so that's... So even when your kid's in their late 20s, it'll never go away. Sorry for that comic relief at the end, but a wonderful evening. Congrats to all of you. Thank you for being here, and have a great evening.